this one doesn't get recorded, it's okay, but we have to use that cord and empty it out onto that computer.
Yeah, it's completely full.
Even all the folders are full?
It says memory, all memory full.
Okay.
So this is just a backup, I think, anyways.
Yeah, so we can, if we just want the audio, we don't need to have the audio, it's okay. Jaya Jaya Shiva Shambho Hara Hara Shiva Shambho 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 Mahadeva 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 Shambho Jaya Jaya Shiva Shambho Hara Hara Shiva 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 Shambho Mahadeva 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 Shambho Jaya Jaya Shiva Shambho Hara Hara Shiva Shambho Jaya Jaya Shiva Shambho Hara Hara Shiva Shambho Hara Hara Shiva Shambho Hara Hara Shiva Shambho. Questions?
I have a question involves the scriptures, the Vedas.
The question, I'm repeating for the online people, the question involves the Vedas.
The Upanishads from the 4 Vedas and the Brahma Samhita, I guess it is, and the
Brahma Sutra.
Brahma Sutra and the Bhagavad Gita are primary scriptures.
The tripod of Vedanta.
The Advaita tradition, Vedanta tradition. when being taught by or talking to my Gaudiya Vaishnava friends, they rely on a number of the later Puranas and scriptures, and of course the Mahabharata from which the Gita comes.
Yes.
And it makes it possible for them to create a justification that's relatively tight for a dualism, for a
Yes.
Vishnadvaita. So my question is about the acceptable rules of engagement between schools and traditions, and what can be brought into the argument. Now we all agree on the Gita, so I have to accept the Gita and the other Vedas.
Very interesting question. It is the pramanyam of the Shruti is being talked about here. The validity of the Shruti as a means of knowledge. That is what you're asking about. And that's a very important question. So, of course, if one is a Dvaitin, a dualist, then or a qualified dualist, as they say, Vishishtadvaitin, one has to rely on the Puranas heavily and on all the other, smritis, because the smritis are there, even though they are the reiteration of the Veda, they are primarily there, to promote bhakti. So that is why they rely on that, devotion and everything. And devotion is always a relationship between oneself and Bhagavan. And so in that relationship, the Bhagavan is always seen as other than me, because it's an object of devotion. Ultimately it is one, but right now it is an object of devotion. But really speaking, the Shruti has the primacy, and the Gita also here, the Gita is likened to an Upanishad because its purport is exactly like an Upanishad. So it's called Gita Upanishad, really. So therefore, the Gita has come into the Gita is also seen as part of the Shruti. But if ever there were a dispute or some kind of a problem between the statement of the Shruti and the statement of Smriti or Puranas, then the Shruti will be what is called Baliyan, stronger, because that is the original revealed text. So the revealed text has primacy as a means of knowledge because it is precisely because of its infallibility.
So the evidence, the arguments from the Puranas can't overweigh.
No, they cannot.
Something that is
No.
argued from the other
No.
point.
You cannot do that. It's like, it's just like you cannot attack space with a sword. It's like that. So the Shruti is the space-like in how it pervades and how complete it is. And then, you cannot attack it with a sword or cut it up because it is impartite. So the Shruti stands, it's self-standing. And the Smriti and Yukti means logic. The logic is also there. So Shruti, Smriti and the Yukti, if it is Shruti Anukula Smriti or Shruti Anukula Yukti. Anukula Yukti means a Yukti, a logic that is cool, means it runs in tandem with the Shruti. Then we accept it. And in fact, we use that all the time. We use logic. We are not averse to logic. We can use the Smritis, we can use the Puranas, we are not averse to them. But if they help us understand the Shruti better, then we use them. If they contradict the Shruti or say something else, then the Shruti stands. Yeah. Ammaji, you had.
Swamini, yesterday it came up that I should have asked you then, but I'll ask you now, that Swamiji loves to teach in English.
Yes.
He finds English
Yes.
very good language for.
Right.
And all I could think of was it's a practical business language and some science. But what would you say to that?
Yeah, why Pujya Swamiji thought that English is a language that lends itself to Vedanta? Partly because in a way it is eminently, it's a delight of someone who has a literary bent of mind. It's eminently available for word play. And the Shruti and the teaching is just play. And Sanskrit also is a lot of play on words. And so what Pujya Swamiji did was look at English from a Sanskrit point of view. And he would say that even English has compounds, samasas. Like how? Gas station, he would say. A station at which gas is dispensed. It's a compound. So like this he would make compounds. And he would, and also in a way it is uncharted territory, until Pujya Swamiji started to teach all Bhashya and Upanishads, not many people had really done that. And so for a person of, Indian descent, descending into this knowledge, and the person of Indian descent or an Indian immigrant to this country, we are all products of colonization and products of the English language. And when the same thing is said in English, it sounds better. And like when I was a child, I was convinced that tea drunk out of a cup tastes better than drunk out of an Indian glass. I was convinced. Even now I may be convinced, but so this is what it is. And like Prajapati, Pujya Swamiji had that mastery of seeing that resonance, that in a way it has rendered Vedanta, acceptable to the people who need it the most. It was something very beautiful to see that. And so he was talking their language. And especially when he's taught here in this country, he was talking the language, the hopes, the dreams, the desires and the despair of the young middle-aged or a retiree Indian immigrant, in a way. So it was addressing all their hopes, frustrations and desires, and with that mastery over the English language, they could not but listen. In a way, all the pratibandhas or the obstacles, like why do I need this knowledge, and this is for people back home, I have come here to make money, I have not come for this knowledge, all that melted. He won people over. And he used to play with the words a lot, and I fell in love with that. We all did, how he played with the words. It was just amazing. So that's what I think.
He used to dance.
Yes, so the words were just little tools that he just hypnotized the inner children with, so that the inner child would immediately go to sleep and the adult would be available for the knowledge. So teaching and rocking the baby and teaching, both he did at the same time, very well. Fantastic, like none other.
Is that why people tend to fall asleep in class? You were going to talk about that.
Yes. No, this has to do with a story with Lord Krishna. Gudaka Devi, the goddess of sleep, started to have insomnia. How is this? She says these idiotic, restless human beings. Gudaka Devi, goddess of sleep, started to have insomnia, and she complained to Lord Krishna, these people in Kali Yuga are so restless. They don't sit still for a minute. They've got red eye and they're on the computer and they're doing this and they're running here and there. And then as soon as they go to sleep a little bit, something awakens them, and I'm not able to rest anywhere. Wherever I go, people are become nocturnal and people are become like owls, and nobody, I'm not finding good sleep. Where should I go that I can just preside and abide very well? And Lord Krishna said, indeed, Goddess Gudaka, this is the truth. People are restless. But I will give you a place that is just yours, wherever my praises are being sung or wherever Vedanta is being taught. Please go there and you'll have undisturbed sleep. So the best sleep comes in Harikatha and Vedanta classes. In fact, people come to class. Harikatha means where Krishna's glories are sung. The elderly people come because the children are making noise at home. They can't sleep, so they come to the temple to listen to this and nod off. And in Vedanta class, the more one wants to listen, Gudaka Devi says, "You, I have chosen you." And then sleep comes. Exactly when Atma Apahata Papma is being revealed. Oh, did I miss anything? Not much.
Janani also mentioned in Sanskrit class, if you ever have trouble sleeping, read some Sanskrit and boom.
Bedtime. Yes. There you go. There you go.
Shruti, you talked about Shruti, Smriti, and
Purana.
No, one more. Purana? No.
No, he was talking about the tripod of Brahmastu Sutra, tripod of Vedanta called Prasthanatrayi, which comprises the Bhagavad Gita, all the Upanishads, and an analytical text, called Brahma Sutra. So this is the three things. That is what he was talking about.
Right.
And then generally the texts in general, if we are not talking of Vedanta, are divided into Shruti, which is the revealed text, the first and the second portion of the Veda, Smriti, that which is reiterated by remembered and reiterated by human minds, authors, scholars, rishis, and then Puranas, stories, mythological stories. So the message is the same, but it's easier for people to understand. The Upanishad may say follow dharma or something like that in one sentence. But the Purana says if you don't follow dharma, you will fry like a samosa in the hot oil of samsara. It makes it very dire. Yeah. So therefore, so that it brings it home in a way. Because, for the lay person, this is the message that works. And then we have itihasa. Itihasa, this indeed was how it was. So, kind of mythological, historical renditions of, the glories of kings, etc. And stories, archetypes, all these things are all part of the religious literature of India.
Like Ramayana.
Yeah, Ramayana, Mahabharata will be itihasa, and all the Puranas, Vayu Purana, Garuda Purana, Shiva Purana, all these things are Puranas, and Shruti is the Upanishads. Smriti are all the things that are written. Yeah. Yes.
So the Bhagavad Gita is not Shruti.
No, but it is a Shruti. It is a proxy Shruti because it is just like the Upanishad, because it has lifted verbatim sentences from the Kathopanishad primarily, which is its primary influence, and to a lesser degree from Shvetashvatara Upanishad and from other Upanishads. It has culled the message of the Upanishad in the 18 chapters in the form of a teaching for Arjuna. So therefore, at the end of each chapter, we repeat this Bhagavad Gita, which is like an Upanishad. Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita su Upanishadsu. We see it, and in fact its name is Gita Upanishad. The Gita, which is like an Upanishad. So it is counted as a Shruti, even though it's a Smriti, it's an exception. Somebody is asking here. Live stream audio doesn't have sound? Or there is no sound? Oh, there is no sound here. I see. Okay. I see. I thought I clicked it. Now there is sound. You didn't miss much. Yes, I'll take her and then you.
Where do the Yoga Sutras fall in?
Yeah, Yoga Sutras are Smriti because they came, they were written by Patanjali, and so they are what is that? They are talking about how to prepare for the knowledge by elaborate, like an eightfold method, and the cessation of all mental formations, thoughts, etc., which is called samadhi. That is all. That is the ultimate in the yoga system. So the Yoga Sutras would be Smriti because they are not revealed; they are written. Yeah.
Line Purusha is seen in the eye. Purusho drishyata esha atmiti.
Yeah, Purusho drishyate esha atma. Yes.
Would you explain that?
Purusha in the eye. Okay. Yeah, first he had a question, so let me take him and then I'll come back to you.
I'm not exactly sure how I put it again. So it was something about the inner child.
Inner child, okay.
So at least whatever I understood about the inner child was this is some pain or wound inflicted by somebody else on you that you are carrying. Is that right or is it wrong?
Okay, I thought you were going to say more, so I was waiting. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I was going to say more.
Yeah, say more, say everything. Oh.
So I'm not sure what the next part, but this.
Okay, so what is the inner child is the question. Is it some pain that somebody inflicted on me when I was small? Yes and no. It's not, it is a remnant and a subjective view of the world based on some misperceptions, perhaps, misunderstandings, hurts, sorrows, fears that have not yet had a chance to be processed, understood, let go of, integrated. So it's not that somebody hit me and I'm going to remember that. It's not so obvious like that. But it's a subjective filters through which the adult looks at the world because of the formation, because of the calcification of certain areas which are not free to see what is. So always one is looking for what I want it to be rather than what is. So one is having the subjective glasses, that is the inner child. This conversation is akin to Indra asking Prajapati, what is the Atma? And Prajapati is saying, the one seen in the eye, the one seen in the water, the one who is sleeping like this, So the inner child is also like, it's like that. It is not any one experience, or we can't even say it's a series of experiences. It is not just the experiences, but it's the fallout and the remnants of those experiences that I carry as an adult. So I'm dragging this dead body of the inner child all the time, and it is coloring my view of the world. I'm not able to enjoy things without the inner child rehearsing its pain in an attempt to try to reverse its pain, because it doesn't know how to reverse, so it ends up rehearsing. Then it becomes a cry for help. Is that a little clearer?
Yeah, I completely understand.
Yeah. So, now there is part 2.
Part 2, let me think.
Okay, think. Yeah.
Can I
Yes.
add on to ask?
You want to, it's a part, you have part B? Okay.
B of that.
Okay.
The inner child, is it only in the current birth, or is it from previous birth, something?
Let us only, focus on this birth. Yeah. Let us only focus on this birth, because we don't want to think about other births, Already the fears, pains, regrets and unprocessed things, if we think about in this birth, is so much. And let's not bring any other births to it, because even if other births are there, it is in this birth that those fears are being expressed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
basically for the child to have that much of pain, I'm just asking whether this subconsciously it's been carried over.
No, it doesn't. It's not that much of pain. It's not. Everybody has it. Even the Lord says, "Here is my inner child, apasmara." It cannot be destroyed. It need not be destroyed, because it is, as Swamini ji explained earlier, it is Ishvara Srishti. It is not Jiva Srishti. It is Jiva Drishti, but Jiva Drishti is Ishvara Srishti. This is the fun part. This is the paradox. So it is Ishvarena Srishtam, it is Ishvara Srishti. So I can't destroy it, I need not destroy it. I just have to render it toothless. That's what it is. So I have to, allow it, and we'll have a session tomorrow talking about this in detail. from the practical, somebody said practical tips. So we will do that. But for now, I will say that it is a gift. It is a gift because as the child is growing up, there are so many things it cannot. It doesn't have the brain power or the development to process all the hurts and pains. For example, it's having separation anxiety. And let's say the mother and the father are extremely, as functional as they can be. Let's not even go into the realm of dysfunctional parents. But the father has to go to work. Poor mother has to go to bathroom, But when the mother goes to bathroom, the child feels abandoned. You see, this is what I'm saying, the subjective perception. That is also constitutes the inner child. Because the child doesn't have a concept of time. Mother says, I'll be out in 10 minutes. But the child doesn't know 10 minutes. Child is completely gripped with fear that the only thing I knew and trusted is now gone behind this door. And I may never see her again. That is the insecurity. Separation anxiety. You see what I'm saying? So then that, if the child doesn't have the ability to process that and even see that yes, this woman also needs to go to the bathroom, she needs a break from me once in a while, it doesn't have that ability. And so what does, Maya in all her kindness, Mother Maya puts an avarna. This is avarna. The unconscious is an avarna at the individual level. And we know from study of Maya that wherever there is avarna, there is vikshepa. Vikshepa means projection. So because of this avarna, I project onto the world the fear that nobody loves me and I am abandoned and I am neglected and nobody wants me. This is the inner child is universal and particular. So here is the collective inner child. Everybody will have this inner child. Nobody really loves me. This is this is the universal inner child. Nobody really loves me. Nobody understands me. Nobody wants me. I am a loser. I am a failure. And then that is the general rendition of the inner child. Then, speaking of each specific person and their own background and history, there will be a particular rendition, So there are roses and then there is blue rose and, pink rose and fragrant rose and grafted rose, like this. So the inner child also comes in various things. So because of this avarna, this covering, the covering is a blessing, I told you. Because of the blessing of this covering, the child is able to grow up and do its things. And then after that, it projects. The covering becomes, the material for projection. Because it is not able to see everything, it just comes up as a projection. And interestingly, on the collective level, when we talk about Maya, what do we do? Maya has twofold powers, correct? Avarna and Vikshepa. Avarna means the covering of my own glory is covered from me, and the Vikshepa is the one which is seen as many. This is the thing. So on the collective level, we are resolving what? Avarna or Vikshepa, what has to be removed? When we gain this knowledge, what is removed? Avarna is removed. Vikshepa is Ishvara Srishti. That need not be removed, that cannot be removed. But on the individual level, what I am trying to do, is remove the Vikshepa. Avarna cannot be removed. Very interesting paradox. Very fascinating. I find this very fascinating. It reverses on the individual level. Yes.
Part 3.
Part 3, okay.
Part 3 from a psychotherapist's perspective.
Okay.
It just has to do with, I just am adding this because I think it is useful. It underlies that the brain is capable of consciously taking in 7 plus or minus 2 pieces of information at a time. It's just fact. So that's why we put phone numbers in groupings. And if I were to say to look around the room and see brown, if you look around, you begin to notice things that you didn't notice before. Because when I'm focusing my attention on you, I'm listening to your voice and I'm looking at the background, I'm probably taking in that many pieces of information at a time. But the brain, the unconscious, sees it all and hears the subtleties of every tone. and hears what you're saying in a whisper that's back there. And all of that is stored from early childhood in the mind. It's there. So when there are incidents that are striking, ones of joy, ones of sorrow, ones that are linked, in psychotherapy, going down in and talking to the unconscious mind, the mind has a perfect recall, a child's mind, a 4-year-old mind has a perfect recall of a fight that the adult has no memory of, none. But the influence is there strongly. And in that way, it supports all the things that you said, but it has to do with just how this happens to be structured.
Right.
And it also leads to other avenues to be able to go in for a sorting to take place.
Yes.
If I could add something.
Please.
Swamiji, you were talking about the orphan archetype that we all have, that abandoned child. Swamiji used to say, I'm sure you've heard him say this, that it will come up to get its attention whenever it feels safe.
Yes.
So a Vedanta class, and where you have the Shraddha and respect in the guru, he said, you can see things coming up in the class. He could see, because that's where the child feels safe.
One is safe enough to feel unsafe.
Yeah.
Yeah, this has frozen up, Ramagiri.
Oh my.
Yes, thank you for saying that.
Swamini, you talked about dream, sleep and waking state where Bhagwan is in them, but so if we extend it, do we say that God is in the Jiva, but the Jiva is not in God? Is it like that?
Not in and on. See, when we use the word prepositions in and on like that, then the locator, location, it becomes two entities. One is inside the other, But here we are talking of pot and clay. Clay is not in the pot. It's not on the pot. In fact, clay is completely independent of pot. Pot is nothing but clay. This is the equation. This is what the whole thing is. So it's that the waker is nothing, but Atma. Because the waker is mithya. Mithya means it's a dependent reality. In order for it to be a reality of any kind, an empirical reality, it has to have the presence, and that presence is called Atma, I. There is no waker without me, correct? You cannot say there goes the waker without anybody, there. So the waker is, Atma. Atma is not the waker, because then who is the sleeper, So the Atma upholds the sleep, but Atma is not sleeper. Sleeper, of course, is non-separate from Atma. Atma is not the sleeper. Dreamer is non-separate from Atma. Atma is not the dreamer. Without being the dreamer, sleeper or waker, Atma upholds these states. And the fact that it upholds these states is called Turiya. That is what its nature is. That is what the whole thing is. Now coming to your question, what is this Akshini Purusha? I've explained this. It is at one level a meditation and on another level a teaching. And what is the meditation? You have a soft gaze, sit in a relaxed way. It is preferably done outdoors, or it can be done at any time, anywhere. And you just watch the world go by. You watch the trees, the clouds, whatever is there to see. And then you you bring your awareness behind the right eye, if you're right-handed, or the left eye, and then you see that you're not just seeing things, you're seeing the sight of things. What enables the sight? And what enables the sight is the presence of this Atma, which is Bhagavan, which you visualize as a miniature Bhagavan sitting and powering the sight. And this Bhagavan is free of being the seen, because the Bhagavan is not the seen, And neither this Bhagavan is the seer, because he's enabling you to see. You are the seer. So, free of being seer seen, that duality is not there. Seer sight seen, that triputi, that triad is not there. And that which upholds the seer, upholds the seen without being either. This is a meditation. But it is also knowledge, because it is the truth. So that is what is, akshani purusho drishyate. That's what the whole thing is. Yeah. Yes.
So then, as is described in Bhagavad Gita, is Atma the life force which makes me able to see, which makes me able to hear, which makes me able to talk, basically it is the life force in me. Is that what it is?
No, I wouldn't say that, because life force has been occupied by another word called prana. Yeah, prana gives sentience to the body, but while prana is nothing but Atma, Atma is not prana. And neither does the Atma depend on prana. So Atma is that presence which makes this body do whatever it does, which makes the prana do its job, which makes the eyes and ears, everything fall into their place and do all the physiological function, respiratorial function, everything falls into place. That presence without which nothing would function. That is called Atma. So it was not so much a force, it's a presence, a sentient, conscious, limitless presence.
So it is like the operating system of a computer.
You can call it that if it helps to understand. Yes. It's a presence. It's like the electricity, because the electricity is present in many things which are dissimilar, Like in a lamp, you turn the switch on and that electricity is there. But then, inside the blender too, when you make your smoothie, the same electricity, here it is in the form of light, there it is in the form of sound and a motor going like this. And in yet another form, it is in the form of a stove. It generates heat and cooks your food. So it's like that. It's that electricity which is in the presence of which all appliances function. Yeah. So we can understand it like that. He Nandalala, 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 Gopi Manohara, Gopi Manohara, Gokula Bala, Gokula Bala, Gopi Manohara, Gokula Bala, Gopi Manohara, Gokula Bala, He Nandalala, He Nandalala, He Nandalala, He Nandalala, Gopi Manohara, Gokula Bala, Gopi Manohara, Gokula Bala, Nitya Vandita Vijaya Gopala, Nitya Vandita Vijaya Gopala, Veda Vedanta Venu Gopala, Veda Vedanta Venu Gopala, Vishwavandita Vijaya Gopala, Vishwavandita Vijaya Gopala, Veda Vedanta Venu Gopala, Veda Vedanta Venu Gopala, Gana Vilola Raja Gopala, Gana Vilola Raja Gopala, Radha Vallabha Rasa Vilola, Radha Vallabha Rasa Vilola, He Nandalala, He Nandalala. Gopi Manohara Gokula Bala, Gopi Manohara Gokula Bala, Vishwavandita Vijaya Gopala, Vandita Vijaya Gopala, Veda Vedanta Venu Gopala, Veda Vedanta Venu Gopala, Gana Vilola Raja Gopala, Gana Vilola Raja Gopala, Radha Vallabha Rasa Vilola, Radha Vallabha Rasa Vilola.
What was that?
A song for Lord Krishna. Hey Nandalala, the son of Nanda, and Gopi Manohara Gokula Bala, the child of Gokula, who is the delight of all the milkmaids, the gopis. Vishwavandita, now he's grown up in the third line. Vishwavandita Vijaya Gopala, that victorious, shepherd, Gopala, the cowherd, who is adored and worshipped by the entire universe. Veda Vedanta Venu Gopala, the cowherd with a flute whose melodious tunes are nothing but Veda and Vedanta. And Gana Vilola, Raja Gopala, the lover of music, who is, a king of all cowherds. Cowherds are jivas, really. Gopis are also jivas. And it's the Lord of the body, Lord of the mind, Lord of the senses, it's all metaphorical. Then Radha Vallabha Rasa Vilola, the delight of Radha, the Lord of Radha, his consort, and the one who loves to sing and dance. That was what it was.
I was wondering about the song you sang yesterday about Ganesha.
Want that again?
Yeah, I don't know.
What was the meaning?
Yeah, and I forgot I know Ganesha, but there was another word.
Sharanam.
Sharanam.
Sharanam means I take refuge, I surrender. I take refuge in Ganesha. That's very easy. Yes.
I was wondering about, is it the ahankara, the ego?
Yes.
And how does that relate to the inner child? Are they kind of interchangeable? Or?
The ahankara, is the I notion. And the I notion can be hijacked by the inner child and identify with it. It's like a chameleon. It can identify with the inner child. It can identify with the words of the Shruti. You are the whole. Oh yes. You being abandoned now, just like you were back then. Oh yes. This is what the ahankara is. Yeah. It's an I notion that is often tethered and hijacked by the inner child. So usually people, carry the wound on the shoulders, on the sleeve. And then sometimes, it's a kind of a, what is that? It was an in thing until recently to think of oneself as a survivor of a such and such abuse, survivor of whatever, the thing might be. Survivor of childhood abuse, survivor of all these difficulties. And then the problem is that one remains forever the victim. Even though for lip service we are calling ourselves survivors, one is still locked in the victim category, consciousness-wise, in one's own understanding of oneself. It's a very troubling politics of identity to permanently think of oneself from the standpoint of the hurts and the pains, you see. And as a collective culture we have been doing that, which is extremely troubling. Really, the best what Vedanta teaches us is to claim the identity, look at it, make it threadbare, give it up. Claim it, clean it up, give it up. This is Vedanta. This is how every single notion, every single identification is processed and given up. You can't give it up without cleaning it up. You clean it up, you process it, and you let go. So that is ego, ahankara literally means I notion. And where is the I placed? That's what is, that is the important thing. If the I is held hostage by the inner child, I am rehearsing my distress all the time. If the I is available for the Shruti, then I am, in the process of redefining myself as I really want to see myself, exactly as I want to be. Somebody else had a question. Who was that? You? Okay.
So part of Lord Ganesha's name is Ganas, right?
Gana. Gananam Ishaha. Gana means a group. The Lord of groups. So, Lord Ganesha is a groupie. Lord of groups, because things are incarnated in groups. The species, different species. Ganas are different species. So the Lord of all the Ganas, Gananam Patihi, Ganapatihi, Gananam Ishaha, Ganeshaha.
Going back to the I and the ego. So, not I where understanding like I, associating with Atma or God, but the ego.
I as the ahankara, yes.
Ahankara. So
yes.
how one, you see people who are very much I oriented. They say me, I, but that has to be let go, right?
It's not let go of,
you
because
have to overcome that.
I won't say it even has to be overcome, because even if you ask a jnani, did you eat your food? He or she will say yes. Like you would ask Pujya Swamiji, did you eat? Yes. When did you come, Swamiji? I came yesterday. When are you leaving, Swamiji? I'm going tomorrow. So he would, otherwise we'll have to have a strange vocabulary, which is sometimes prevalent in certain, what is that, religious sects of South India, those Pandarams. The Pandarams talk like this. When did you come, Swamiji? You ask one of the Pandarams are particular, heads in a particular sect. Then they'll say, this came yesterday. Did you have your lunch, Swamiji? This will eat right now. And when is this going, Swami? When are you going, Swamiji? This is taking the flight tomorrow. This is this is how they talk, and this is not necessary.
I didn't mean in that sense. Okay, the I.
Yes.
I'm talking about ego.
Ahankara, yes.
Ahankara, ego.
Yes.
My question is ego good? Ego is bad also, isn't it?
It's neither good nor bad, it simply is. Because the I notion cannot be destroyed, it need not be destroyed. It has to be lightened of the burden of the inner child. Whether it's enlightened or not, we cannot say. It must certainly be lightened of the burdens. That's what it is. So when somebody says, I did this, I am this, and I have studied this, and I have all these, things.
Power.
Yeah, I have this power. That means the I notion is ensconced in the loved ones. If somebody says, I'm a family man, the I notion is ensconced in the loved ones. Correct? Right. Is identified with the loved ones. That there is the tadatmya. If somebody says, I own so much property in the whole city, I own many houses, then the I notion is attached to or identified with what one owns. If somebody says, I am very intelligent, I have an IQ of a genius, then the I notion is attached to what? The person's mind, the intelligence.
When it is used as to overpower somebody,
or
when people use that, I'm telling you the authority. That is not a very good.
No, it is not good or bad. It simply is. It is a product of ignorance.
Okay.
Yes.
So how does one handle that? How does one? So, for example,
there
are two cases. Take the case of accomplishing some project.
Accomplishing a project. Okay. That is case number one,
Okay.
accomplishing a project. Then,
Okay. And then, and I was assume I was the main person doing it.
architect.
Okay.
Yes.
So one way of saying that, one way of talking about it, that would be, by God's grace, we were able to complete this project.
Complete this.
The project,
Yes.
in time and etc.
Yes.
So that is one way of putting it. Of course, the other way, probably egoistic way of talking.
Manitva.
I was the one
Yeah. Because of me it happened.
did this.
Right.
That is all.
That's what it is. That's what she is also asking. And of course, it's eminently better. That's what karma yoga is. Is you dedicate your own actions to Bhagavan, and whatever you possess also belongs to Bhagavan, and whatever you are is because of Bhagavan. So if in India this is very true, that if you go to somebody's house and praise their house, they'll say it's because of Bhagavan's grace. You praise their cooking, they'll say it's because of God's grace. Inside they'll be feeling happy. Oh, they are appreciating me. But they will say, this is Bhagavan's grace, this is Guru's grace, this is God's grace. It's a very nice habit to have, because then that the ahankara stays in check. Yeah.
So that would be the best way to.
Yes, absolutely.
respond, yeah.
Absolutely.
Which, by the way, Harinder did earlier. I congratulated her on the Satnarayan's
Poem.
poem.
Ah.
She said Bhagavan's grace.
Bhagavan's grace, yes, true. Aur kya? What else?
If the unlimited is self-sustaining, then why does the limited appear?
The limited is as though. Yeah. It's like asking, when the sun is all shining, why does it get, covered by clouds? The answer is, the sun does not get covered by clouds ever. In fact, it's because of the sun that you even see the covering. That is how it is. So the limited can never eclipse the limitless. And if there is an eclipse in the form of self-ignorance, it's an as-though eclipse, which as-though goes away. That's all it is. It's full of paradoxes. So to study that limitless, we create a duality called teacher and student. In fact, that's the last frontier of duality, but it's a duality nonetheless. That's why I always say, even though in some cultures they say, what is that maxim? When you are ready, the teacher appears. I say the Vedantic version is, when you are ready, the teacher disappears. That is Vedanta. Good question.
Swamini, I forget that. I should write it down, but I forget. What is it, the 13th elephant, the 6th?
I don't know of any 13th elephant.
The number of elephants?
Where? Which elephant?
Swamiji used to tell, the father leaves how many elephants to 3 sons?
Oh, yeah, that one. I forgot. It's been a long time since I.
Write that one.
Yeah, we'll have to ask somebody else.
It's so great.
Yeah, it's a wonderful story. I forgot that. I have not thought about it in a long time. That's it. Okay. You will see everybody bright and early. At what time? 7 o'clock. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. You live here? What are your names?
John.
I'm Ahia.
Yes, I remember you.
Yeah.